Hi everyone, this is Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this ring handle tote bag. The finished size is 15 inches high by 19 inches wide. The fabric was purchased from Walmart and it is outdoor fabric. I selected it because I love the large print. The bamboo ring handles were purchased from Joann Fabrics and Crafts, and I used their coupon app. You can also purchase ring handles from Amazon.com. If you want to add pockets onto the inside of this bag, click on the link in the upper right-hand corner and it will take you to another video that will instruct you on how to put pockets on. So let's get started. You'll need the following supplies. For the outside of the bag, you'll need approximately 1/2 yard. Cut two pieces 16.5 by 20.5. The lining, also 1/2 yard. You'll need two 16.5 by 20.5. And the pockets are optional, so depending on how large you want to make your pockets, you could need an additional up to 1/4 yard of fabric, and I would use the same fabric as the lining. You'll also need one pair of ring handles 5 inch to 6 inches in diameter. This is my lining fabric. I have both pieces together, and this is my 20.5 inch edge, and I've folded the fabric in half. And I'm going to show you how to cut out your little half circle that'll be at the top of the bag for the ring handle. Now mine is 6 inches from the outside, so 6 inches. So I like using the lines on my cutting mat to figure stuff out for myself. So I've got it on a line going this way and this way. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, because half of 6 is 3, and I'll go over 3 this way and place my ring handle right there to where this edge of the ring is touching this line and this edge of the ring on the outside is touching this line. My ring handle is that rattan type and it's kind of bumpy, so I'm not going to get a really straight, nice curved line when I do this. It'll be a little bumpy, but draw a line on the inside circle right there. And then, I don't know how clearly you can see it, but I have a little dash line. So I'm going to go out and mark a 1/2 inch from my drawn line, put little marks all around there like this. And then go ahead and cut on the dash line. And again, you do this on both the fabric for the outside and the lining. When you're done cutting, just unfold it and it should look like this. My iron-on fusible interfacing is by Pellon. I use the Craft Fuse number 808. I normally buy the 20-inch wide fusible interfacing, but I could only get the 15-inch. So to get it to the correct size for this project, I cut a strip 1 3/4 inches wide and stitched it on. I just overlapped it and stitch it on using white thread. Put the shiny side of the fusible interfacing against the back side of your fabric. So this is the shiny side, put it on the back side of your fabric. And I would place a few pins to hold it in place as you fuse it. But before you fuse it, cut around your half circle here. On the package of the fusible interfacing are instructions for fusing it on, so just follow it. It will require a damp cloth that you put on top of your interfacing. You'll need a hot iron with steam, and what I usually do is I just spray it down to where it's pretty damp. Then take your iron and hold it in place for anywhere from 12 to 15 seconds is what I usually do. Then after you've held it in place, then lift it and move on until all of it is fused on. Bring the lining and the fabric for the outside together. So you're going to bring the front sides of the fabric, which is the pretty side, bring them together. So you're looking at the back side of the fabric. Pin around your half circle area, stitch 1/2 inch seam all along there. After stitching around the half circle, take some small scissors and do little slits. Make sure you do not cut into your fabric. So do that all the way around both. Pull your lining out and away from this fabric here. Take the other side of the bag and also have the lining pulled away. Bring front sides together. Then place pins along this edge here, across the bottom, and along this edge. Stitch 1/2 inch seam along all 3 sides. This is the seam for the very bottom. And here is one of the side seams. Press down on the side to where it is touching that bottom seam. And you might have to reach inside and pull your sides out just a little bit. Look inside the bag and make sure this seam is on top of this seam. So you're lining up those seams. And like I said, if you look in the bag, it's real easy to see. Once you've got it lined up, then go ahead and put a pin to hold it. Now go over 2 inches from this point, 1, 2. Line up your ruler. I like using the lines on my cutting mat to line things up, and then draw a line. Then stitch right on this line and backstitch here and here. After stitching, place your 1/2 inch line on your ruler on your stitch line and trim this off. And now do the other lower bottom corner just like this. Have the lining fabric front side up. Insert the ring handle here, and then go over to the other side, and here's the front side of the lining fabric. Insert the ring handle. After inserting the ring handles on, now bring your lining fabric front side together. And this is one of the sides of the bag. So go ahead and pin across there. On this one side here, you're going to leave an opening large enough for your ring handle to pass through later when we turn it front side out. So I placed a pin about a 1/2 inch away from the ring on each side of it. Then stitch across here and make sure you back stitch at these 2 points, and then stitched across here, and you're going to do a 1/2 inch seam. This is the other side seam on the opposite side of the bag. Bring front sides together with the lining fabric here also, and then stitch 1/2 inch seam all the way across, and you're not leaving an opening on this side. This is the bottom edge of the lining. Pin the 2 sides together and stitch 1/2 inch seam all along here. After stitching along the bottom, then create those boxed shaped corners like we did on the fabric for the outside of the bag. Bring the seams, match the side seam and the bottom seam together. Draw your line across there, stitch along there, and then trim this off to where you have just a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Do it on both bottom corners of the lining. After your lining is all stitched together on the sides and the bottom edge, then go ahead and open the bag and insert the lining inside. And then straighten out the lining after you push it in. Bring the fabric for the outside and the lining fabric together along the top edge of the bag. Make sure you match the side seams of the lining and the fabric for the outside, and I recommend that you pin those seams open. And you're going to pin all the way up to the ring handles and stitch a 1/2 inch seam along here and try to get as close as you can to the ring handle. It's not going to be super tight, but get up there as best as you can. Here is the side seam. On each side of the ring handle, open this side seam up and fold it back away from the seam. Do that on each side of the ring handles. After you've got it folded over, then do a little tack stitch with needle and thread to hold it in place. Reach in through the opening of the lining and begin pulling the bag front side out. I recommend you first push the lining front side out, then scrunch up the bag and begin pulling the fabric for the outside of the bag through. Take your time. You don't want to rip your stitches out. Fold the raw edges of the opening inside and place pins along the edge. Then stitch close to the edge all the way across. Push the lining inside of the bag and straighten it out. This is the top edge of the bag. I recommend you place pins to hold the lining and the outside of the fabric together. Then do a row of top stitching 1/8 of an inch from the very top edge of the bag. So you're going to go all the way across here and then go to the other side and do the same thing. The last step is to stitch around the ring handle. I found it easier to stitch from the lining side. I placed pins along here, and make sure you line up to where that seam is right in the center of that ring handle. This is a presser foot that I really love. It is about half the width of a regular presser foot, and it's used as a zipper foot. Sometimes people call it a piping foot. You can get up real close when you're stitching around this. Now try your zipper foot and see if that gives you the results that you liked. And then when you're done, this is what it looks like around here on the outside. For more tote bag projects, play this video until a green screen appears and then click on the links. I hope this video was helpful to you. Now, if you like this video, please click on the old thumbs up button and also click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Then enter your email address and then click on the little bell so that you receive email notifications. If you're not receiving the email notifications, then you need to go to your cell phone or your iPad or tablet and go into settings, look for notifications button and push it to on. Then you'll start receiving the notifications. I'm Cheryl. This is Manny. So glad you came to my sewing room. We'll see you next time, and happy sewing.